Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having a beautiful day or evening wherever you're located right now at this moment. Um, I have a lot of you writing to me with questions and also topics that you want covered on my channel. And for those of you who have a topic that you haven't written to me about, you can contact me through spiritualgrowthjourneys.com and just say, here's a topic I want you to cover, or I have this question that I want you to answer in a video. And I'll do my best to put that on the list at least, or at least try to get that done. I do as many of these as I can. I'm usually counseling people all week, taking care of my family and other things. I'm juggling like a lot of plates. So I do the best I can. I'm also getting interviewed on lots of other people's channels and stuff, and then posting like crazy all sorts of spiritually uplifting and educational info all over social media to help people. So I don't always have all the time to get back to you. So if you send me messages on email, or you comment on a video or something and I don't answer you, please do not be insulted or offended. I just only have so many hours in the day, and I do not have a secretary or assistant that can help me out. So I do the best I can, and I try to answer as many people as possible. But it's really helpful for me when you do ask me questions and videos to cover on this channel, because I'm not always the best at coming up with ideas of things to talk about on videos, since it's not like I'm trained or experienced to do this video stuff that I'm doing. So I appreciate all your questions, and today I'm covering one big topic that I see all over the place from my friends, my followers, my subscribers, and that is a concept of, is Jesus Christ, or Yeshua, which is his real name, Yeshua ben Joseph, or Yeshua HaMashiach, which means Yeshua the Messiah in Hebrew. The question is when is he coming back, or is he coming back? And is he here right now? So today I'm going to talk about that. So the first thing I'm going to get off my chest is a little bit of truth about there's people who are all over YouTube who are claiming to be him, or to be a fractal of him, or to be part of him. That is not true. There is nobody on this earth that is him right now. And he basically told us, he told humanity when he left, when he ascended, he told the apostles, he pointed at their heart, at the heart, and said, I will always be with you in here. I will always be in your heart. I will always be with you. And he basically, what he told me, because I asked him about this, and what he told me was that he basically put a fractal of himself, and Mother Mary did the same actually, put a fractal of himself into the hearts of all of humanity. So every person on this earth, whether they believe in him or not, even if they have no clue who he even is, they're actually carrying a little fractal of Christ consciousness inside of them. And that is so that you are always connected with him at all times. And what he's told me, and he's told many other psychics, in fact, there's a lot of information about this. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, you can do research and you will find all sorts of psychics and clairvoyants and channelers all over the place who've had conversations with him, and Christians and even pastors who've had conversations with him, where he's basically kind of laughed and said, I'm sick and tired of humans saying, when am I coming back? Because he's not going to come back in a body, not now and not for a very long time. And the reason why is the last time he was in a human body, it did not go so well for him. He was crucified. And that is because you're not, how do you want to say, Superman? Like, you see all these superhero movies, all of these humans are so used to seeing all these superhero movies that they think that Christ is bulletproof if he's here, and that's not true. Once you incarnate into a human body in this third density, which is, well, the planet's now going to fifth, but it was third density when he was here. And once you incarnate into a body on this planet, you can be killed, you can be tortured, you can be sick, you can die away before your time, you can die by all sorts of different means. And if he were to come into a body right now, I can guarantee you the dark ones, and I'm not going to say their name on this video because it will trigger the YouTube people to try to shut me down. We know who they are. I call them the Sith Lords. Once the Sith Lords on this planet were to find that person, like there's a guy, I'm not going to say his name, who's all over YouTube, who claims he is Jesus. That guy is going to be in a lot of trouble, because once the dark ones think that you're even related to Yeshua, they think you're even related to him in some way, or a descendant of him in some way, or anything like that, they're going to come gunning for you, and they're going to take you out. They will take you out. So any person who would open their big mouth and say that they are him, number one, they're either absolutely crazy, they're MK Ultra'd, or they're being mind controlled by dark entities of some variety, because it's not possible for him to come back now at this time with so many dark, evil beings on this planet. This planet is crawling with evil. It's crawling with darkness. It's crawling with your, the Sith Lords and reptilians and even demons, and what I call the minions of Saint, the S guy and the L guy. I don't even want to say their name. Let's just say he who shall not be named. This planet's crawling with the minions, and for him to come back here now, he would instantaneously, the minute people knew who he was, he'd be gone. They'd kill him. So the one thing he says to me is he just laughs. I mean, he's got a really good sense of humor. He's got an amazing sense of humor, and he's got a beautiful smile. His smile is incredible. And if you want to know what he looks like, there was an artist, what is her name? Her name always goes over I always forget it, but Russian artist who painted him. And I've talked about it before and posted pictures of him, actually, that she painted on my Facebook, because she actually met him and saw him when she was 4 years old. And then when she was like 6 or 8, she painted him. And it's exactly what I see when I see him. And he's got an incredible smile that lights up the whole city. I mean, it's just brighter than a city. It's just incredible. So he has a really, really amazing sense of humor, and he just throws his head back and laughs like silly humans. They think I'm going to come back, but I've never left, is what he says. He says it over and over again. He said, I've never left you. He told us before he ascended, he told us, he said, I will always be with you. I will always be with you. You have a fractal of him. I have a fractal of him. You all, everybody watching this video, you all have a little tiny piece of him inside of your heart. And that is why you're able to connect with him and pray and ask him to come help you anytime, because you have like a direct beeline, or a direct channel to the God, a direct link to the God channel, I call it. And you can link up to him at any time, the same way you can link up to our source creator that made us, the God creator source that made all of our souls. You have the ability to link up with him anytime. He's never ever left here. He's always been here. He's always watched over this planet. He's had to, because if he wasn't here, like here in a spirit capacity, our Earth would have been destroyed. They would have pushed the reset button. They've done it like 6 times or more at least. The S guy and the L guy and the C guy, which I'm not going to say their names. I've talked about them on other videos, but I just don't even want to say their names. They've pressed the reset button multiple times. They've caused great deluge and the great flood and meteors hitting the planet and the poles switching and on and on and on, where they've wiped people out and then they had to start from scratch every time. People have been coming to this earth for billions of years, but then they push the reset button, and then they kill everybody, and then they start fresh. So he has been watching over us along with Mother Mary, along with all of Christ consciousness. Actually, we are fully protected not only by Archangel Michael and all the legions of angels of heaven and all the archangels that fully protect this earth at all times, but we're protected by Christ himself and all of Christ consciousness and all the members of Christ consciousness, which include Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Melchizedek, I'm trying to think who else, Buddha, Sananda, Maitreya, all of those different beings, who've been here on earth. That's all what we call Christ consciousness, and they've been watching over this planet for thousands of years to keep it from being destroyed again, like it was the last time that they hit the reset button. And I think that was the time of the Great Flood was the last one. The last time, but they've had meteors, they've had all kinds of things that they've done. And so he's here, he's inside of you, he's with us. He cannot embody into a physical body. Anybody who says that they're him, they're either insane or they're mind controlled or MK Ultra'd, or they're controlled by archons, or they're lying, purposely lying. Maybe they're choosing to make that up so that they can become famous or make money or something. But in a way, you can say I am him because there's a piece of him inside of me. So, and there's a piece of Mother Mary, and a piece also I happen to have a piece of someone else who's very, very important inside of me, who allows me to do the work I'm here to do to help humanity. So each one of us have a spark of different beings inside of us. We can have that inside of us, and there's nothing wrong with that. The important thing to know is that is what allows us to be connected with him at all times, and he's never, ever, ever left. So stop asking, when is he coming back? Because he's already here. The question you should be asking is asking him to guide you every day, asking him to give you his peace. Whenever I'm stressed or anxious or anything, the first thing I do is I talk to him and I say, please give me your peace, Christ. Please, Christ, please give me your peace. Please encase me and enfold me in the peace of Christ consciousness. You should be asking for that. You should be asking for guidance. You should be asking specific personal questions maybe that you need help with. But don't ask him when is he coming back, because it's almost insulting to him. It's just as insulting as the name that the bad guys with the letter C gave him when they switched the Bible and they took it out of Aramaic and Hebrew and they added in and subtracted out all kinds of stuff, and they rewrote the whole thing hundreds of times over, and they basically made his name the same gematria numbers as the S guy and the L guy. So the name Jesu, Jesu, and Jesus, if you look it up on Gematrix or Gematrix.com, and put in or I think it's Gematrix.org, O-R-G, it's a nonprofit, but you put in the numbers or names to anything you want, you can see the gematria on it, the numbers. They purposely rewrote his name to match the numbers of the L guy and the S guy, who have been destroying this planet for 25,000 years. And the reason they did that is they wanted to trick humanity into worshiping them. So their hope is every time you pray and you say Jesus or Yesu, that you're praying to them. That's their thought. Now, I'm not telling you to stop saying those names. I'm not telling you how to pray. I'm not telling you that you were bad because that's what you did, because you didn't know. You didn't know, but now you know. I'm alerting you, and now you know that this is what they did. If you want to use the proper name, and one of my favorite things to teach people is how to pray the most powerful way possible and how to pray with intention. And the best way you could ever pray and honor him, so you're not slapping him in the face, is by calling him by his actual name, not a name that was made up by the bad guys. And I've been attacked repeatedly by crazy, radical, indoctrinated religious people when I say this, when they hear me interviewed on interviews and I say that his name was switched. Those people, instead of attacking me, they should go and do the numbers and go look at it themselves so they can prove to themselves that I'm telling the truth. I'm not making this stuff up. There's thousands, maybe even a million people on the planet who know about this. Okay, there's lots of people who know about this. I'm not making it up. The other thing is if you say anything negative about this on my video, I will delete you. I will delete your comment, because I'm not here to convince you to believe the way I do. I'm not here to try to conform you to my beliefs and my ways or anything like that. I'm just here to share my truth. It's my truth. And if you don't like my truth or you don't agree with it, you can either say nothing. My mother used to tell me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's also known as taking the high road. When somebody does something to you, you take the high road. You don't just go and attack them. It's not okay. It creates very bad energy for you and very bad karma that can create sickness in your body and even shorten your life. So if you want to say something negative about this on here, please don't even bother. For everybody else, I just wanted to share with you this truth that he is already here. So if you ask, when is he coming back? Look no further, because he is literally right in front of you. If you ask him to come to you, he will. Many years ago, he popped into my room, and this was back, I want to say 12 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, something like that. He popped in, it's probably 12 years ago. He popped in and he said, he said, you're not special. He said, you're not the only one that I talk to who hears me. He said, there's other people who actually hear me. He said, however, I talk to every one of my children on this planet. He said, I talk to all of them all the time. They do not hear me, because your mind is either being mind controlled by the sea guys, with what we call the nanobots through chemtrails, and your pineal gland is totally calcified, and that goes for all of us on this planet. They've calcified our pineal glands, which is why I send all my clients my 3-page pineal detox plan that has all kinds of wonderful info on how to decalcify your pineal gland so you can actually hear God and connect to the God channel and hear God. When you ask a question, you can actually get downloads and answers and information. When your pineal is completely calcified and you have nanobots in you and stuff and smart dust and all that kind of stuff, then you can't connect and you can't hear. The other thing that will block you from hearing him is what we call monkey mind, which is a meditation term. Your thoughts are just going through your mind all day long. Your brain is so overwhelmed and so busy, and you're so stressed out, or you're sad, or you're depressed, or you're angry, and you're full of emotions, or whatever it is. That will block him. When your mind is clear, when you're able to have a clear, calm, peaceful mind, that is when you start connecting with the divine and actually getting information. Every person on earth has the ability to be a channel. Every person on earth has the ability to get messages from God. I am not special. I just happen to be somebody who I was born with a little bit of an advantage. I was born with some gifts. And I also have done a really good job in my life of detoxing all of that stuff out of my my pineal. And so once every person on this earth elevates up to fifth density, we're all going to get back our ability to connect with him directly eventually. It's going to take several years, but we'll all get that. We'll all be able to have abilities like psychic abilities and clairvoyant, clairaudience, and prophetic ability, just all of these things, telepathy, the ability to move objects with your mind like they did when they built the pyramids. They were using their mind to move stuff. We're going to get all of that back with the fifth density, but it's going to take some time. It doesn't happen overnight. But how you can help it right now is by clearing your mind and practicing mindfulness, present moment awareness, calming your thoughts, becoming more peaceful in your life, and praying every day. Prayer is our superpower. Connecting with God, talking to him, asking him questions, and then waiting quietly and patiently to answer. And sometimes you're not going to get an answer immediately. I tell people that because he's busy, or it might just be it's not the right timing, or it might be that the message needs to come to you through another person. God will use other people to show up in your life. God will use the internet. You'll be on the internet, and the perfect answer will pop up in your email. You'll get numbers. You'll get something that will pop up. And I get a lot of these. Messages that way. I get numbers. I get 111, 333, 1111, 222. You can look those up. They're called angel numbers, and it will give you messages. Sometimes I'll be driving down the road. I'll see a driver's license plate that's the answer, or I'll look up and see a sign, and it's like Jesus loves you, or whatever, just something, and that will be like an answer. Sometimes I'll look up in the sky, I'll see a cloud shape like my answer. I mean, there's a lot of places you get the answer. So just because you're sitting in your house and you ask God a question, don't expect to immediately get an answer, but you can at least make an effort. It doesn't hurt to try. And after you practice this over and over again, and you quiet your mind more and more day after day after day, and you get really, really calm and peaceful, or Zen, as certain family member likes to call it, when you get into a Zen state where you can really be at peace with yourself, that is when you're going to communicate with him, and you will know that he has been with you the entire time. Okay? He's been with me since I was 5 years old. So for me to sit here and go, when's he coming back? When's he coming back? When's he coming back? That would be stupid. Why would I do that? It's kind of, this whole thing reminds me of when kids go on a road trip with their mom and dad, and they go, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? That's what this whole thing reminds me of. So stop asking, when is he coming back? He's already here. Stop listening to these weirdos who are saying that they're him. They're not him. He's not here. Because number one, think about this logically. Use your logic and think. If somebody announces out loud that they're him, don't you think the sea guys, or the Sith lords, as I like to call them, don't you think they would take that person out if that person really was him? Okay, these people who are still alive that are on YouTube week after week saying they're him, which there's a few of them or more that I've seen, they'd be dead if they were really him. They'd be dead. Okay, the fact that they're not dead, that should show you something, honestly, because they'd last 5 seconds. The minute that those guys know that he's here, he'd be picked off immediately. He told me this himself. He'd say they'd immediately, because think about it, okay? Back in the days when he was here, there were no cell phones, there were no computers, there wasn't the internet, okay? It was harder to seek somebody out and find them. You could go into hiding. Like, if you wanted to be a spy, or you wanted to disappear into society forever, back in the day, 200 years ago even, 200 years ago, you could have just disappeared off the earth. Nobody would know where you were. You could go incognito into hiding. They wouldn't find you. Now, you can not really do that anymore. Not very easy. Not without changing your face with plastic surgery, your hair, even getting your fingerprints, just everything, like changing everything. It would be almost impossible, because we live in a big brother society now, where we are watched by cameras on every corner. Where I live in the big city here, there's a camera every couple of feet. They're watching you. They're watching you in shops. They're watching you in buildings. About the only place they're not watching you is out in the middle of the woods, but even there, they're watching you, because they have thousands of satellites up there that can hone in and watch you. So there's nowhere you can hide. So if our Savior were to come back today, the minute that they found that out, he'd be gone. He'd be wiped out. So now, if you want to ask the question, will he ever come back? That's a better question to ask, instead of, is he here now, or when's he coming back? Will he ever come back? The answer is, that is a possibility. What he told me is that in the future, if humanity can get our crap together, which right now it's not looking very good. We still have, 80% of the planet that's totally asleep. So this whole planet would have to fully wake up and work together as a team to create heavenly earth. And if we did that, and if this is a big if, we got rid of all the sea guys, all the Sith Lords, as we call them, start with the letter C, ends with the letter L. If we got rid of all of them, every last one of them off the planet, we got rid of all of the demonics off the planet, all the evil people, just bad people, dark people off the planet, and we created a peaceful place where all of us cohabitated together in love and peace and harmony, and we all loved each other unconditionally, the way he loves us, then he'll come back, very possibly, okay? Huge possibility he will do that. But until he is safe to come back, because of all the technology and the fact that he can't just go incognito, until he's able to do that safely, it's not possible for him to come back. So all the people who are wondering, well, what's the second coming that they talk about in the Bible? Guess what? If you look in the mirror, you will see the second coming. Go look at yourself in the mirror. We are the second coming. All of the light workers, all the star seeds, all of the earth angels, all of the ETs that are embodied here, all the good ETs that are helping out in space, what's called the Alliance, all of the good, the people working with Mr. T and all of his crew. We are the second coming. We are the ones saving ourselves. Some Superman hero isn't going to come down on Earth right now and swoop in and save us. Trust me, Wonder Woman's like my favorite Marvel character. If I could turn myself into her and take the lasso of truth and go round up all of those MSM people and all the politicians, stick them in front of cameras to the world and make them tell the truth about everything right now in this second, and then boot them off my planet permanently, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. I mean, I pray all the time for superpowers just for that reason, because I would love to, I'm all about divine justice, divine truth, and divine wisdom, and sharing that and spreading that. And I would, if I could do it, I would. If I could single-handedly go and save the planet, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But that's not possible. And I've been already lectured and yelled at by my boss, Yeshua, that I'm not here to do that. He told me that I have my team that I'm here to work with, which is you. You're my team. And I'm supposed to collaborate with you all to usher in this new heavenly earth. Okay? So we need to all work together. We need to, if you really want him to come back, we have the ability to manifest with our thoughts and our words and everything. So if we work really hard together and we imagine him coming back and what that looks like with this heavenly earth, I believe that we can create that if that's what you want. If you really want him to come back, you're going to have to work really, really hard, get off the stick, and start focusing on how do we get all the evil off the planet and how do we restore our beautiful earth to a heavenly place. And once we're able to do that, he will very possibly come back. And there's a possibility he won't come back either, because he has free will just like you and I do. So he can choose to say no and not come back here. But even if he doesn't come here in a physical body, he is still here. He's in your heart. He's watching over us. He's working up on the ships with the, commanders of the fleet up there. He still is here. He is here. He never, ever left. In fact, in the last 2,000 years since he left, he never left. He's been here. You have to understand that outside this planet, there is no time. There is no time. It doesn't exist. Time only exists here on a linear scale, beginning, middle, end. There is no time where he is. And so he's been here the whole time. He's been helping us. He's been protecting us from mass destruction. The Sith Lords have been trying to destroy this planet for a couple thousand years again, And they do it over and over. They constantly try to destroy the planet, and they constantly work to shift the timelines. And then we have people who are working to shift them to the good timelines. And this has been this way for quite a while. So I wanted to come on and share this all with you. I hope I didn't sound like I was lecturing too much, but I guess I get a little impatient with people sometimes when I have hundreds of people asking the same question over and over. When's he coming back? When's he coming back? When's he coming back? And he just sits there and shakes his head and goes, stop asking. I mean, really, he's like almost insulted because he's always been here. He's always been here, and he talks to you all the time, and you're not hearing him. So start, instead of asking the question, when's he coming back? Why don't you ask, Lord, how do I connect with you? How do I connect with you? Ask that question. And quiet your mind every day and spend some time trying to have a relationship with him. Have your own personal relationship with him, and then you know he is there. He is there with you right in that moment. In fact, the minute you call him to you, he is there with you in that moment. Okay, that's why you have a fractal of him inside your heart, because he is part of you is with a part of him is with you, and you have access to that 24/7. 24/7 you have access. So I hope this was helpful at all for some of you at least. And like I said, if you don't like this answer because you think that little book called the Bible is the truth, which there are truths in it, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of truths in that book, but it has been manipulated to control humanity for a long time. In fact, the original Bible wasn't even a book, it was thousands of scrolls, which have been locked up under the Vatican up until now. I believe that those were liberated by the White Hats and the Alliance. So pretty soon here, we're going to get to find out what the real Bible is really about. I believe in the coming years, probably within the next 3 to 5 years or so, we will see what that looks like. They're probably going to have to hire some of the top interpreters in the world to interpret that out of Aramaic and Hebrew and into English in a way that isn't twisted and trying to mind control us. But a lot of it has been mixed up. I mean, I'll give you a really good example. In Revelations, it talks about how Christians are going to disappear up off the planet, and there's going to be this big Armageddon and yada yada. That's not going to happen. Who's being removed from the planet are the bad guys. They're all going off the planet. Christ said, the meek shall inherit the earth. He said it to me over and over and over again. We get to keep the planet. Christians aren't going to go. If you're going, it's because you chose to die and you want to go home and play in heaven. And if you chose to go home and play in heaven, then see you later. The rest of us are going to be hanging out here having a really good time in this new earth. There is not going to be this taken away thing where 130,000 people or 300 whatever thousand people are going to get snatched up into heaven. Yeah, that's not going to happen. The beings who are getting snatched up and taken away to a third density prison planet are the bad guys. So see you later, bad guys. They're all going. We get to stay here in this beautiful paradise that we are going to heal. It's already a gorgeous planet, absolutely stunning, gorgeous planet, but we're going to heal it and make it even more stunning and gorgeous together as a team. So I'm looking forward to working with you all on that. And I will see you next time on my next video. If you like this video, please like it and share it and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to contact me to cover any other topics, message me through my website, spiritualgrowthjourneys.com. If you want to buy a copy of my book, Ascension 101, it's still available on Amazon worldwide. And I will look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.